Welcome to the Saitama Super Arena, and once again, a fantastic shot from outside of the stadium. You see people streaming in. My name is Bob Monta, and with me this afternoon will be Jeff Green. And this is one of the big matches, United States of America going against Australia. It's day 2 of the 8th, the knockout round, and earlier Germany survived just barely against Nigeria, winning 78-77. But here we get our first look, not the tournaments of course, our first look at the United States, and what a fantastic lineup they have. There you see it there, games to come, France versus Angola after this one. And this evening it'll be Greece against the People's Republic of China. Another great day of basketball for fans around the world. 450 million people registered as basketball players. 212 countries registered with FIBA. Truly an international sport. The United States ranked number 1 in the current FIBA rankings, going against Australia, currently ranked number 9. The United States qualified 4th in the Americas zone. 5 teams come from the Americas zone. The USA qualifying 4th. And Australia, 2 teams coming from Oceania, qualified 1st, New Zealand 2nd. New Zealand knocked out yesterday, of course. And the Australians being introduced there. The Australians weaker in the paint inside than the United States. They do fast break well. They play tough defense. They've got a couple of true 7-footers to be going up against what most people believe is individually, pound for pound, kilogram for kilogram, centimeter for centimeter, the best team in the world. The United States NBA player Andrew Bogut and C.J. Bruton, the little point guard, number 9, since he's come into the squad, the Aussies have begun to play much better basketball. And look at the fans there. The Japanese love their basketball. Carmelo Anthony and Dwayne Wade, a couple of favorites here. For you, Mr. Do Everything, Dwayne Wade of the Miami Heat. Stars, every one of them in their own right. And Jeff Green, how do you coach a team of stars?
Oh, it's easy to coach a team of stars. You just got to get them all on the same page mentally. You can't do anything with them physically. You've got to do it mentally. And that's what it's all about. People don't realise, you've got to be able to coach stars differently to an ordinary team. National anthems.
Well, we'll have the national anthems of both countries.
First, the national anthem of Australia. Next, the national anthem of the United States of America. The teams will now exchange gifts.
The players at midcourt exchanging gifts, as is the custom in international basketball. Very shortly we'll be underway here. This should be an interesting matchup. I don't think Australia has the firepower to stay with the United States the whole game. That could give them a few worries early on. The mini balls being thrown into the crowd. The United States adopted a very reverent stance when the national anthem was played, heads bowed. Some of the players quietly singing to themselves. The United States under a lot of pressure to uphold the tradition. They're the starting five for Australia. C.J. Bruton, he's the spark plug. Smith and Worthington, a couple of veterans at the 2 and 3 spot, and Andrew Bogut, NBA player, and veteran Sam McKinnon at the forwards.
Well, Australia have added these two, C.J. Bruton and Mark Worthington. They're the two that have been added to the Australian squad before the World Championship, and they have made a difference.
Well, for the United States, you just roll the dice and you pick any five out of the squad, but Chris Paul starting at point guard, Carmelo Anthony and LeBron James. Wow, talent. Shane Battier and Alton Brand will be in the forward spots, and Jim, lots of talent there. Can they knit it together as a team?
Well, the other thing is you've left out the NBA Finals MVP who comes off the bench in Dwayne Wade from the Miami Heat. You know, so that's just someone that you've got to leave out.
Well, Coach Krzyzewski, head coach at Duke University, Special K, has got a pocket full of talent on the bench, on the court, and Brian Gorgon, head coach of Australia, really punishing that bubble gum.
Well, that gum will get an absolute hammering today. Coach Gorgon is known for that, chewing that gum. So it'll come out, it'll go in, it'll get absolutely chewed to death. Hopefully it's resilient.
I hope so too. It'll bounce back time and time again.
Coach K.
Special K, Mike Krzyzewski. Fantastic coach. Interesting move to bring a university coach, one of the best in the country, of course, in to coach the pros.
Well, I think that's a great move by USA Basketball, because one of the things is they've had a couple of NBA coaches, and the NBA coaches are just out of touch with the international game. That's why. They've got NBA players who are out of touch with the international game, but that's why they brought in a college coach, because the college coach, the NCAA, which Coach K coaches in Duke University in North Carolina, that's more attuned to the international game. Hence why they brought a college coach involved. So great move by the Americans.
First umpire, Peter Sudik.
The referees, Veredas, Sudik, and Dovadovicius, laterally in Lithuania. So again, another panel of 3 referees, international panel. They will enjoy reffing this game as much as the fans will be watching it. 18,500 seats, and I don't see many spare. Japanese players and fans from other countries have come to see the United States in this, their first game in the knockout round, the ace. We've already seen several teams, 5 in fact, exit. Argentina beating New Zealand, Lithuania beating Italy, Turkey surviving against Slovenia, Spain overrunning Serbia and Montenegro. And earlier today, well, Germany hung on to win by 1 from a very disappointing, pointed, not disappointing, quite exciting really, Nigerian team, 78-77. Last minute instructions from Brian Gorgon, the Australian coach.
The stagger cut. CJ, if you can go here, go. Hit bump and spread. Look for a rip off.
Every basketball player's dream to play a dream team to the United States. The dream team, probably that's a misnomer. This is not a dream team. This is for real. They're playing much, much better basketball than they did in their home country in Indianapolis 4 years ago, and certainly than they did at the Olympics. LeBron James, there you see him. One of the best players on the planet. Well, you could say, you can apply that to just about many of these players. Sam McKinnon, number 6, players shaking hands with the referees. Nice little custom to start the game.
I suspect Sam McKinnon has got a big task ahead of him. He'll probably have to guard Carmelo Anthony or LeBron James. Huge, huge honor and a task to be able to stop one of those two. Bogut, he'll be used to this. Andrew Bogut jumping center court. He'll be used to it.
The roof cam, that's what you see. And here's the jump ball, and Bogut controls it, but it goes to the United States. Here we go. Game 2, day 2, knockout round. World Championships 2006, Saitama Super Arena. Anthony with the headband down. You see him with the ball. He fronts up, tries to put down the three, and Bogut gets the rebound. Knocked to the ground, but the big man gets the rebound. McKinnon misses the layup, had a good look. Australia could have scored first.
Well, I suppose he heard the big footsteps of LeBron James coming.
Chris Paul can't knock it down. We've got a pushing foul underneath. And people standing around, you wonder when a call comes and everybody turns, sort of mystified. Andrew Bogut gets his first foul. Bogut.
Well, that's dangerous for Australia with Bogut getting a foul this early in the game.
He knows most of these players, having just completed his first year in the NBA, #1 draft pick 2 seasons ago. The kick out pass in from the corner.
Shane Battier, he's there. He's a shooting big man. Shane Battier.
Bogut out front. Nice pass underneath.
Well, Mark Worthington saw a sea of white shirts coming towards him and a lot of big hands.
Yeah, a lot of Australian players, United States players came over to stop the Australian penetration. 3-0 United States. Compliments to that three-pointer by Battier. Worthington in the corner. A little guard, CJ Bruton. That's a nice little shot. Well, it's not a little shot, it's a big one in the context of the game. As it locks his scores. 1 3-pointer to 1 3-pointer.
Well, CJ Bruton, fresh out of NBA training camp.
Oh, yes.
Carmelo Anthony, the Denver Nuggets star.
22 years old, 2.03 meters tall. Worthington from the top of the key, and Chris Paul with the rebound. Very controlled, bringing the ball up. United States look a different team than they did in the Olympics or in 2002.
Well, because they've got this, as I said before, Bob, they've got this college coach, a number of college coaches. Elton Brand, as he hits the fadeaway jumper, as he does for the LA Clippers.
Yeah, very well put together team. Some thought has gone into the selections here, and a foul out front.
Carmelo Anthony. It's like these guys are household names. Like, we talk about the Australians because we know them in New Zealand so closely, but these Americans, it's like they're in your living room every week.
Well, they're international stars, no two ways about it. In a domestic competition, these guys are known around the world. The NBA has sort of brought interest in basketball to just about every country in the world. There are kids in every country trying to emulate.
Well, 212 of them to be exact, Bob, play the game.
From the free throw line, the miss. And Australia, it's Worthington in the possession underneath Bogut.
Oh, two-handed jam. Well, the Americans have seen Bogut do that for the Milwaukee Bucks on a number of occasions.
So America stung, and from outside,
There's James Battier again. He is the shooting big man along the lines of these European big men. He can shoot the ball very well.
Well, he gets a nice look. Nice, simple, smooth rhythm. He knocks down the three. Worthington looking inside. Bogut goes to the hoop. It's going to be a dunk. Battier comes from the top of the key to try to block the shot, but he fouls in the process.
Well, Bogut, he's a 7-footer. Wow. Shane Battier, around 6'10". He's not a small boy himself.
Well, Battier is listed as 2.08, 2.03, so that would put him up around the 6'8" mark. Jeff?
I think when the Americans list him in the NBA, they add 1 or 2.
Well, put a pair of shoes on it with padding in, and
Yep.
you're taking him up around the 6'10" mark. Bogut knocks down the free throw. 11-6, United States by 5. Bogut with that year's experience in the NBA, not in the least intimidated, which is good for Australia. The Australians now in a half-court trap, easily to the United States. The kick out, and Chris Paul shuffles his feet. There's no whistle. Bruton.
Yeah, Chris Paul's not going to get it. He's not known as a great shooter.
Dooley in the game for Australia, and he's got a three, 11-10.
Well, the Aussies, if they keep it slow, that's the key for the Aussies, because what the Americans have been doing this tournament, if they get out on the open court, they're absolutely lethal.
Bruton helping out, comes over to try to get the ball out of Brandt, and then he has to sprint across the court to pick up Chris Paul in the corner. Oh, yes.
Whoa. When you can shoot the ball with someone, and there's Dwayne Wade waiting for action. When you can shoot the ball with someone in your face the whole time, then you know you're a star.
Well, it's great shooting from LeBron James. Bogut hassled out front.
Oh, lovely move by
skills for the big guy.
Bogut. What a great little set of skills there shown by the big man, the Milwaukee Buck, Andrew Bogut.
Well, the young buck shows his skills. 14-12. The United States already in the game. 4 3-pointers. The turnaround jumper doesn't fall, and McKinnon gives it off to Bruton. Australia looking pretty composed, pretty calm. A lot of teams just come out very nervous against the United States early on. But Australia, a mixture of veterans and youth, pretty cool. The kick out to Bogut from the 3-point line.
Oh, Andrew Bogut for the three. What a great little pick and roll there. CJ Bruton went down low, got it to McKinnon, and McKinnon just found Andrew Bogut. 1-point lead to Australia. How often are we going to say that, Bob?
Who knows, Jeff? Who knows? Dreams spring in the minds of every player. The United States are beatable. Teams have proven that over the last 4 years.
Well, Gorgian rides the referee all the way to the bench. He's still going at him, because he was right in front of him when he called that foul.
Oh, he's like a caged tiger pacing the edge of the court, back and forth. Brad Newley, one of the young guns for the Australians, with a timeout taken. We've got 4:45 left to play in the first period, and Australia lead the United States by 1, 15-14. Well, a good crowd here, as I said before. The stadium seats 18,500, and I believe we're just probably 1,000 or so, 1,500 maybe, short of that total. A massive, massive stadium, cavernous, to say the least. And the people in Tokyo are turning out to enjoy the basketball. And earlier today, as I said once earlier, Germany hung on, and I do mean hung on, to beat Nigeria 78-77.
Look at this little move.
Period.
Andrew Bogut around the back, then finished with the little finger roll at the basket, follows up with a 3-pointer, and just before these two shots, he had a massive dunk. So Andrew Bogut, showing the Americans who he is. Well, they all know. They see, every one of them see him at least twice a year. On the West Coast teams, they see him twice a year, and on the East, 4 or 5 times.
That boy gets around, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Clocking up the air miles for the Milwaukee Bucks. Dwayne Wade, number 9, into the game.
And of course, Kirk Heinrich from the Chicago Bulls is also into the game. A great shooter.
Well, just player after player, a star in their own right on their own team coming into the lineup for the United States, and they do seem to be sharing things around. There are 4 players averaging in double figures. Dwayne Wade, 21. We got Miller, Brad Miller. No, it isn't. Yes, Elton Brand with 10.6 per game, and Anthony, 19.6. For Australia, there are 3 players averaging double figures. The other one for the United States is LeBron James on 14. Missed shot. Heinrich wants to run.
Great shooter, and he shows that. One dribble off the screen, pulls up for the jumper. He did that all year long with the Chicago Bulls.
Dribbling into trouble is Kendall. Bogut. And Bruton double teamed out front. Bogut into the corner. Brad Newley has hit one already. Couldn't put down the second, but McKinnon hot puts it out front.
Sam McKinnon is crucial to the Australian effort because of the fact that, and there you go, Brad Newley. That's another three. Australia got that 1 point lead again. That's the second time I've said that now, Bob. See how many times we say that? Australia,
okay, there's
one
two.
up.
We'll keep count, Jeff. Going to the hoop. Dwayne Wade. Looks like he just turned his ankle a little bit there, but what a nifty move. A little fake and then a scoop as he's fading away from the basket right here.
Well, how many times have we seen that man?
Slick.
Dwayne Wade.
Slick.
Won an NBA World Championship, different to the World Championships we're at. Let's just say won an NBA championship with the Miami Heat.
Jeff, let's keep it to reality. Misses the free throw, and Bogut gets the rebound for Australia. And look at Bogut, pretty competent with the ball in hand. He's like these 7-footers of today in international basketball, and Anthony makes the steal. Oh, Newley gets up and slaps it away. They're going to say it was goaltending.
Well, the crowd loved that. Regardless of what happened, the crowd absolutely loved that. This Japanese crowd are really getting into this game.
You call it now.
Oh,
yes, the ball was going down.
That
was a good call by the referee.
Well, Brad Newley can go home and say, well, I threw Dwayne Wade's shot out.
Once it reaches its apex and its arc and heads back to earth, you can't touch it. The shot then cannot be blocked. McKinnon driving against James. Brandon, sorry.
It was Antoine Jameson. Antoine Jameson foul. Well, the good thing about the Australians play at the moment, they're not intimidated because, you said it before, Bob, a lot of these teams at the World Championship come in to play the US and they're just so intimidated because they are household names and because they play in the NBA.
Well, Manu Ginobili of Argentina said in an ESPN interview just a couple of weeks ago, 15 years ago, that was the case, but not any longer in international basketball. He thinks the United States, very good basketball players, but the rest of the world have caught up.
Well, it's all right for Manu Ginobili to say that, Bob, because he is one of the elite players in the NBA in the world.
Well, he's also on a team called Argentina and lacing his boots up every day to play in this tournament. And so his opinion carries a bit of weight. From a long way out, Newley can't find the three. He's got two already early in the ball game. 2:29 left to play, and the United States commit a turnover. McKinnon over halfway.
They do get guilty sometimes of trying the spectacular play rather than just work the ball, and that's why Coach K is going to be so important for this US team.
McKinnon kicks it out. Bad pass. And the foul on C.J. Bruton wants to stop the automatic runaway two. 21-19, the United States leading Australia. 2:12 to go. There's the reach-in foul right there. Nowhere near the ball. Dwight Howard, number 12, into the game for the United States. Running one-hander, throws air. Luke Kendall, nice pass inside. Halliwell. Misses the turnaround. Jump hook, the left-hander. And under 2 minutes to play.
Here's the big man, Wade Halliwell, but he's just not an Andrew Bogut able to finish. He does play the game tough, though.
Good jump stop out front. Oh. And the follow-through dunk is going to count. Howard.
Dwight Howard from the Orlando Magic. He knows how to finish. He's one of these young guns.
211 centimeters tall. A big, big man. Very mobile as well. The United States now on the free throw line. They've only got 1 of 3 from the free throw line. They're shooting 5 of 11, 45% in the game. Australia 2 of 7, but they've hit 4 of 7 3-pointers. That's what's keeping them close. The miss on the free throw, the United States not shooting well. Newley goes down. He gets a two-handed jam.
And they hunted him down too. Brad Newley in Australia. Back within 2.
Wow, Newley was not intimidated at all.
That was too easy. Dwayne Wade. Way too easy.
Well, he just sort of weaves his way to the basket, throwing fakes with almost every step, it seems. He's just so slick. Newley down the lane has the ball raped out of his hands.
Well, that was a great little kick by Wade Halliwell, which freed up Brad Newley to go down the lane. In fact, Wade Halliwell got LeBron James with a great screen.
Howard collects his first foul. 26-21 and 1 minute 17 to play. First period. A fascinating game here. The Australians sticking with the United States early on. Newley kicks it out. Halliwell into the paint. Goes to the hoop. Protects it nicely.
Good protection of the ball by Wade Halliwell as he went down the lane. And the foul on Dwight Howard.
There's a lot of bubble gum out there being punished. You see the United States players working overtime.
He really did protect the ball before he released it. Good move, Wade Halliwell. He came from the wings as well. Couple of dribbles.
Well, he's got it. Australia 5 of 6 from the free throw stripe. 1 of 4 for the United States. 3-point shooting, 4 of 7, as I mentioned just a moment ago, for Australia. 4 of 6 for the United States. Heinrich looking inside. The bump, the back end, the turnaround, jump shot. Nice pass underneath. And it's
Elton Brand, and what a great pass from Dwayne Wade. He got it. Defense came across and just dropped it off inside. Elton Brand.
Aaron Bruce, number 14, at point guard. The steal. Dwayne Wade. Oh, he just couldn't get a handle on the ball. Had a breakaway, but just couldn't find a handle on the ball to pick it up.
He should have kicked it, slammed it in for the goal.
Yeah, look at this. Look at that ball has a mind of its own. A sense of justice and fairness. And it rolls out of bounds. 27-23, 21 seconds. Australians turn it over. They won't be happy with that. Already have committed 3 turnovers, one to the United States.
That would be that turnover we just saw with Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
Where was the commitment? Why didn't he dive for it? Slide into the backboard.
That's right. It's all about commitment. From the corner, deep in the corner, nothing but air. And Newley throws it the length of the court, but it doesn't drop. So at the end of the first 10 minutes, second game of the day, the United States versus Australia, and it's a 27-23 lead to the USA. Well, a good opening quarter for both teams. 27-23, the Australians came out, shot pretty well, especially from beyond the arc. And they're just 4 points in arrears after 10 minutes. A good start, both teams. Highlights from that first period. The kick out pass and from the corner, Batir. Nothing but Batir. Many from
James
Batir.
Pulls up, does a little shake and bake, nothing but net.
Turn it up and drop it. Look at this. Couple of fakes, stutter step, around Bogut, up and under the 2 from Dwayne Wade. And Brand getting ready to pull the chimney down.
Elton Brand, as he does for the LA Clippers. Great run this year in the NBA because of that man, Elton Brand.
Field goal shooting, United States 55%. Australia pretty well, shooting pretty well at 47%. And some of those players working overtime on that gum. We're ready for the start. Second period, second 10-minute stanza here. The Saitama Super Arena. Australia trailing the USA by 4 points. No one picks Australia to upset the United States except perhaps their coach and all the players. Brian Gorgon and his men have come here not to lose, but to win. You've got to have dreams in sport.
Got to have dreams, Bob. If you don't have dreams, you don't have any goals. You're not going to go anywhere.
Carmelo Anthony protects the ball so well. Ball refuses to drop, but he's fouled in the act of shooting. He'll go to the free throw line and collect a couple, if he can.
Well, watch this. He started with his left. Because Sam McKinnon came across, swapped it to his right hand, just dropped it off. He's got that long armband on.
As does Dwayne Wade. Yep. I wonder what that's all about. It's not their shooting elbows.
Fashion statements.
There's a bit of padding on the elbow. Maybe they've bruised an elbow. Diving for the basketball.
Or hitting each other.
Possibly. 29-23, United States. Off the 2 free throws.
Oh, nice play, Australia. Oh my goodness.
That's an interesting call. So far under the basket, the man was under the basket. They seldom call that a charge. Once the player's committed, if you're standing that far under the bucket, yep. Well, we've talked about it. Some people believe that the United States get the soft calls simply because they're stars. I don't want to say that. Well, just telling you what the speculation is. Oh yeah, nice pass and a big drop. Chris Bosh into the game, number 11 to the United States. Talent replaces talent, replaces talent.
Well, Chris Bosh plays for the Toronto Raptors, the first Canadian team.
I thought you were going to say the Tarantula Raptors.
Yeah. He's got long arms like a tarantula.
Brand. Bruton almost steals the ball. They kick it out high. Now, there's a lot of time on the shot clock. Oh, nice steal from Bogut. Ball's on the floor, and Jason Smith.
Good hands, Andrew Bogut.
It up. Quick hands. Australia with possession inside. Bogut.
Foul on Elton Brand.
Oh, Brand giving away several centimeters in height here. Bogut, probably in 2-3 years, going to be one of the premier big men in the NBL. He's got
NBA, Bob.
NBA, you're right.
He's already a premier big man in the NBL in New Zealand.
I don't believe I've ever seen him front up.
No.
There, Jeff. 29-23, USA, 8:31. The pass.
Oh, that was a great pass by LeBron James.
Labash.
And Chris Bosh just went straight to the basket.
Labash from Labash. And it's an 8-point lead now. Australia struggling offensively behind the back pass. You got to like it. A left-handed pass from Bogut. But Australian shooting just falling off here.
Well, it's really interesting. Andrew Bogut displaying the range of skills. They got him to be the #1 pick in the NBA draft.
Brand. And the foul is going to be on LeBron James. I do believe he came in hard for that rebound. If you read his facial expression, yep, it is him. First foul. 6 fouls called against the United States. 8 against Australia thus far in the game. 8-point deficit, Australia. Need a score here. They've got to break the drought.
David Barlow comes in with that very unusual mullet hairstyle for Australia. Great move. Paul Sam McKinnon. We know down under in Australia and New Zealand that Sam McKinnon can get up, and he was not intimidated by
Chris Bosch after the shot, but he got a lot of hand on that ball. McKinnon.
Chris Bosch stands at 6'10", and Sam McKinnon, he's only about 6'7". Was not intimidated at all.
No, the Australians are not intimidated. They're not shooting particularly well right now. Just having trouble putting the ball in the hoop. They're 3 of 10 from the 2-point area, 4 of 8. Not so bad from the 3-point area. And from the free throw line, that's his second miss, 6 of 8. They're going to have to count every free throw if they're going to stay with the United States here. Wade, flying.
Dwayne Wade comes underneath the zone and up and under. Our friends from Turkish television believe he traveled.
I wish they had a whistle. Johnson, a step back 4. Doesn't go down, and the United States just getting a few offensive rebounds here. 2 so far. And Australia want to give up 1 shot only. If the United States is going to win this game, they want it to be from that first shot. They've got to shoot good percentage. 33-24, 9-point spread. Wade kicks it out. Johnson from the corner.
Joe Johnson from the Atlanta Hawks. He gets himself on the...
Well, Jeff, the arc here, the 3-point arc, is about, say, 12 inches or so closer to the basket than it is in the NBA. Do you think the NBA players feast on that fact?
Yeah, I think they love that. The fact that it's a lot shorter. The NBA 3, especially out top, is a long, long way out.
You wouldn't think 12 inches was a big amount, but it is psychologically and in reality. It's that 1 step closer to the basket. 25 centimeters makes all the difference.
Oh, a great play. Unfortunately, just not finished off by Andrew Bogut. Australia.
We got a timeout taken with 6:18 left to play in the first half. And the United States leading Australia 36-24. Well, the entertainment during the timeouts continued down to the American bench. Coach Krzyzewski. United States looking pretty relaxed on the big dunk from 2 angles. In case you missed it, there it is again. That wasn't 3 dunks, just the same play 3 different ways. Same with that one. That's Wade. A little bit of wizardry. Hyperactive Dwayne Wade. 36-24, 6:18 left to play in the first half. Now the referee coming over to just hustle the Australians along. Teacups are down.
Yeah, I've never seen any coach yet that's going to rush and hurry up when the referee comes over and says, time in, you've got to come in. Bring your team in, coach, bring your team in. I've never seen a coach yet panic and say, yeah, okay.
Well, suddenly it becomes a little bit of gamesmanship to see who blinks first. The referee's got the whistle, so coaches usually give in. Bogut has to go high to get the ball in bounds. Back inside Bogut. He threw it up on the glass. He was hoping to get the foul. He was off balance.
Yeah, I thought he got pushed by Shane Batia. In that 2-3 zone, Australia.
Nice shooting.
Joe Johnson can light it up in big bunches.
David Barlow.
From the Atlantic Hawks, he can light it up, believe me. One of those shooters.
Barlow right in his face, but it made no difference at all. Barlow number 5. C.J. Bruton, double team. Now, Pin coming in, kicks it high, and Bogut has made a 3-pointer, but he goes inside, kicks it out to McKinnon. Can't get it. And the rebounding edge now going to the United States, and Wayne takes it in against C.J. Bruton. Pretty crafty little play. Wade went straight at him. He wanted to tag a foul on him, possibly get the two.
Well, here we go. CJ was still moving. He leaned right into him, so fair call by the referee.
Well, C.J. Bruton, a bit like a magnet there.
That's the second foul for CJ. That's critical for Australia because someone like Bruton has to come out of the game. It's a lot harder for them.
Daniel Kickert, 2.08 meters into the game for Australia. The inbounds pass.
Well, this is a man that we haven't seen. Well, Daniel Kickert for Australia.
Can you believe it? Bruton gets a good block. Actually knocks the ball out of Howard's hands. Howard recovers the ball and gets the two. Watch this. Whack. Can you believe that?
That's what I worked on. That's C.J. Bruton's third foul, I believe it is. Yeah.
It is.
Look at the size of that upper body, Bob. That's why he can finish like that. When someone hacks away at you, you work on that upper body strength. So when you do get fouled, you go up hard.
Well, that's a good message to young players. They often work on their legs. United States 10-0 run. And they forget the upper body. Constantly concentrating on legs, fitness, and shooting. And really, upper body strength plays such a big part in the game. The step out three. And Australia's shooting has gone cold. That's the reason for the 41-24 lead. Haven't been able to buy a basket. They've gotten good looks. They just haven't been able to put it in. A foul called against Bogut.
Well, you've got to say to yourself, where was the foul? And that's his third foul too, Andrew Bogut. Yeah, no, that wasn't a foul at all, Bob. That's a star foul. That wasn't a foul at all.
Well, maybe some sort of rough justice there as Howard misses the first free throw.
Dwight Howard, another one of these up-and-coming youngsters in the NBA for the Orlando Magic.
Yeah, 20-year-old, 2.11 meters into the sky. Stepping into the lane too quickly. United States. Full court pressure now. Bogut brings it up against Anthony. Behind the back dribble. And he loses it. Manages to regain it. And the kick out pass to kick it.
He just couldn't handle it.
Australia in a man-to-man. Oh, what a beautiful pass inside. Barlow got the rebound, the miss by Anthony, and the block underneath. Barlow found himself close to the out-of-bounds line, so he put the ball in the air and it was spiked into the ground right here. Whack. Halliwell back into the ballgame. Number 15 replacing Andrew Bogut.
Well, Andrew Bogut, as he left, had lots of words for the referee on the far side. Lots of words.
A little trip there, Bruton. Outside, Halliwell can't buy a basket. The Australians have gone cold, stone cold, 3 of 14, and a two-point land of 4 of 12 from beyond the arc. That's the story of the game. They were shooting so well in the first period, and then suddenly they went stone cold. And Wade, one too many moves. The right hand forgot what the left was doing. The ball goes out of bounds. Good shot of Andrew Bogut, subbed off. He won't be happy. The Australians just haven't been able to shoot. And if you don't shoot 50%, you're not going to stay in the game, no matter who you're playing at this level. Bruton. Barlow. Sorry, that's Newley.
Brad Newley.
Ball. Anthony. Misses the shot, gets his own rebound, goes back up. And that was number 12, an athletic attempt at a block. Daniel Kickert forced Anthony out of his shooting right there. A miss, but Anthony right there to pick up the shot, the bound, and he's fouled as he goes up the second time. As a result, he's on the line. 42-24, it's an 18-point spread.
David Barlow with the foul. Kickett and Barlow with that mullet haircut. They look very similar.
Lots of young stars in this team. Just to give you an example, Carmelo Anthony, 22. You got Chris Bosh, 21. Chris Paul, 21. LeBron James, 21. Whew, talent for another decade to come. 20-point spread. Bruton looking for someone. Barlow. The defense from the United States is oh so tough, and it forces another turnover. Turnovers mounting up now against the Australians. They have 9, and they've been punished severely for them. 2 turnovers against the United States. The rebounding, well, it's pretty even. 20-19, the United States by 1. But it's really shooting percentages. It comes down to something as basic as that. And down the lane goes Anthony. And he's going to be fouled probably by number 12. Oh no, Halliwell, I believe.
No, they gave it to Daniel Kickett. I can tell viewers that Daniel Kickett, because we haven't seen him in New Zealand in particular. He had a stellar NCAA career at St. Mary's in California. Couple of tryouts with NBA teams in the last NBA tryouts just before the World Championships.
Nice, another one of these good young Australian players. 23 years old, he stands 2.0 meters tall. Good height, good mobility. Bruton from the 3, he's got it. That's the first 3-pointer.
It's only a 2. They just called it a 2. It was inside the line.
Well, he must have had his toe on the line. It was certainly close. And Bruton inside again, the little fellow. Gets his hand to the ball. Big players bringing it down that low. You're just inviting someone like Bruton to have a go. Now, he's on 3 fouls.
I was going to say, Bob, the problem with Bruton having a go and then is he's on 3 fouls. He's still got 2:41 to go in the first half.
And that last shot that we saw from Bruton was the first Australian field goal in the second period. They've virtually been shut down, shut out. Oh, shut out.
Wayne Wade. The overhead dunk.
Newley, individual effort to take it to the hole. He actually got a good look, but he put it up too hard against the glass. He's off balance and under pressure when he went up. He's close to the basket, but he couldn't get it. Oh, nice feed inside, and the foul is on Newley, 8.
Well, Chris Bosh again inside, looking for the big spectacular finish. As we see Dwayne Wade going down the lane. What a bullet pass, one-handed bullet pass that was. And Chris Bosh.
Tons of young talent in the United States team. You can see their theory. If you get younger players not too far out of university, they still remember what the game is all about.
And they still understand the principles of playing against the zone, because internationally a lot of zone is played. Because as you know, it's illegal to play zone, a type of zone defense in the NBA.
Barlow bringing it up under pressure. He goes to the hoop, he gets a nice look, but again, can't put it down. The pass ahead, Anthony throws it inside, ball's on the floor, a little bit messy, and LeBron James brings it high, and they say, let's run that one again. So from the top, James directing traffic. wants to do something with it. They love that one-on-one. They like people to just clear out, isolate somebody on one side. Anthony drops the three while they're thinking about what to do with it.
And that's not his normal three-point range, but it's a lot easier for him at international level.
Australia toiling so hard. They're not getting any luck. There they get a nice drive. Barlow takes it to the hoop, but it's already a 52-28 spread. It's game over virtually. The United States will not surrender this lead. And Australia ran into an icebox, really. Their shooting just fell away completely.
Timeout, US.
1 minute, 11 seconds left to play in the first half. The United States take timeout. 52-28 lead. Overwhelming.
Or if they get here, you got these step outs. All right? We want you as the first screener. You got to get through that elbow action, and you got to turn and face.
Highlights there. Howard, you see on the slam dunk. Look at the pass underneath. The big step. Unstoppable. The United States, just showing their class here. Australia have managed only 5 points. 5 measly points in the second quarter. The United States, on the other hand, have shot 34. 24 it is, sorry. Carmelo Anthony leading all scores with 13. Dwayne Wade on 10. And nobody in double figures for the Australians. Bogut leading them on 9, followed by Newley on 8. Play resumes. 1 minute, 11 seconds to play in the first half. The Australians, well, they've seen the game slip away on poor shooting, poor percentage. They did get the looks. They just suddenly went cold. They played so well in the first quarter. It was 27-23 after the first 10 minutes. And now after another 9 minutes to play, the Australians have added a mere 6 points to their total. 52-29. Coming up, 1 minute to play in the first half. It's an intimidating point guard in the form of LeBron James. Nice pass inside, the kick out. Into the corner. Joe Johnson, he knows what to do with it there. Joe Johnson, the Atlanta Hawks shooting guard. Yeah, one of the real veterans in this team at 25. Wow.
He's just gone, he was a huge commodity in the latest free agency market.
Aaron Bruce, point guard. Halliwell loses the ball. Carmelo Anthony got his hand to it, created the steal. And coming through the traffic, that's Joe Johnson. Protects the ball, goes into the alley, and comes out unscathed. But he'll go to the free throw line. Here he comes, just coming across there. A couple of players have a go at it. Halliwell picks up his first foul. The Australians sticking to the task, but if you don't knock down the threes, if you don't knock down your shots, you're not going to stick with the United States players. They're just too good. They're shooting so well, 50% from the two-point area, 7 and 9 from beyond the arc, and 2 of 17. That's 71% from the free throw line. It's tough to beat anywhere, anytime.
2 of 17, did you say?
12 of 17, sorry. Yep. And the runaway steal, Johnson, a gentle dunk.
Nothing spectacular, just the normal standard dunk on the break.
Very workmanlike. Aaron Bruce on the death knell of the first half puts up the three and can't find it. So at the end of 20 minutes of play, the United States have put on a bit of a display here and lead the Australians 59-29. They've outscored Australia 32-6 in this period to really take the game by the scruff of the neck.